The COVID-19 pandemic has changed the way we conduct learning. Since May 4th, 2020, the start of the Trinity term, students have been learning online at home. While it has not been without its challenges, it has proven to be the best way to conduct classes while protecting teachers and students from the risks associated with the viral illness. After some of the restrictions were lifted, the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training decided to implement a phased return of students to school, starting with CSE students doing SBAs and Class 4s preparing for the Barbados Secondary School's entrance examination, also known as the Common Entrance, which takes place on July 14th. We visited some of the schools to observe how the first day of school went for teachers and students.
Janitors would have sanitized all desks, all furniture. Then we had to move furniture around, move equipment from room to room, so as to satisfy the 6 feet, the physical distancing. Then in terms of, we set up sanitizing stations, and then signage. We had to make sure that we had the signage in so that the children can follow the signage so we wouldn't have any crowding. When the class 4s come in, they'll first stop by the gate. They will look and have the, let's say, temperatures checked. They will have hand sanitized, then they will read their signs. We have a color coding, which would direct them to the classroom area. In class, they would have, the teachers will go through all the protocols with them before we get into the day's work.
The students also shared how they felt about going back to school.
Excited. It feels wonderful because we seeing about our friends, like to see about my teacher, the principal, and the rest of the teachers. It feels wonderful.
Students had some idea on how to protect themselves from COVID-19.
You have to wash your hands for 20 seconds or more. I'm going to keep a safe distance from the people that I do, like, not really a part of my family, but and I will keep my hands clean all the time and don't do anything dirty with my hands.
Class 4 teacher at Hilda Skeene Primary School, Nancy Haynes, said she was happy to be back in the classroom.
It's a good feeling because I want my students to do their best, and we haven't had the experience of actually practicing a past paper since week 10 of school last term, so I would want them to have the opportunity to practice the speed and accuracy in the allotted time of the test to give them a fair advantage.
Ms. Haynes prepared her students as best as she could for their return to school.
Okay, our very last class for the online session, we had a talk where I told them what to expect. I had come down to the school the day before. I had seen how my classroom was going to be arranged, so I talked to them about it. I had also taken the opportunity to label their furniture for them and to put their materials in their location, as well as I had told them what materials, for the few who had taken home their materials, what materials I would have wanted them to bring back to school, the protocols that we would follow, how lunch would be served, where our classroom would be, and the out-of-bound areas for us, and the do's and don'ts, how we are going to sanitize our hands, how we are going to keep our areas neat and tidy, so that I would say by the end of the session, they were comfortable with the idea of coming back to the classroom because they realized that we had really gone out of our way to prepare for them and to keep them safe.
Over at Bailey's Primary School in Marrick St. Philip, social worker Jayan Eli tried to allay any fears students might have had about returning to school.
How many of you would have left home during the period when we were confined to our homes? You know, you were able to go out at some point in time. Okay, I remember when I was in school, especially primary school, summer vacation. You couldn't wait for that, right? That long, 9 weeks, 8 weeks. And come September, it's time to go back to school. And you get back in your class, and you can't remember how to spell house. You gotta refresh. And this is no different, okay? I trust and I believe that your teacher has put in the work. It's just a matter for you now returning to school in this environment where it's going to trigger. So you're going to remember. It's going to come back. Don't worry about that. All you need to do is to focus, concentrate on what it is that you need to do, and listen to your teacher.
Students also vented their feelings about the upcoming 11 plus exam.
Because I feel we need more time to work on how we are going to do in 11 plus.
Okay, so you feel as if you need a little more time.
Yes, please.
Okay, so why are you nervous?
I feel I need more time to get back to learn some of the things that we did already, and I don't really feel as comfortable as settling in COVID-19.
We wish you all the best. Ma'am, if you see anybody who is a little bit uncomfortable, especially with the mask, you know, then you can just let them take them off at that particular point. Just right. One side. Right, at that time. All right, you'll be good. All right.
Pupils at the Blackman and Gollop Primary School were hard at work when we visited them on their first day back. The school has been temporarily relocated to the village at the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology in Wildy St. Michael. 92 Class 4 students are preparing for the exam.
We have to thank the principal and staff of the SJPI because they would have already placed some of the markings on the pavement so that we will know exactly where to walk. And we also did some ourselves. And then the classrooms were named based on the classes. So this one you see class 4 star, and the children's names are pasted on the outside. So any child will know exactly which room he or she is in. And then we were the beneficiaries of the Ministry of Education signage in terms of the various guidelines and protocols to adhere to while we are on the compound, and those were placed in each classroom as well as around the village at SJPI. We are doing we're running the alternate system Mondays and Wednesdays for the 2 of the class 4s, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays we have class 4 Sapphire and Star, and on Mondays and Wednesdays we have Pearl and Diamond.
The school meals department provides a daily packed lunch for all Class 4 pupils, and students have to adhere to social distancing protocols while waiting in line for lunch.
How are y'all? You glad to be back to school? Yes. I want the truth. You glad to be back to school? Yes. All right.
We also checked in on pupils at the L.T. Gay Memorial Primary School, who are temporarily based at the Combermere School. 71 students there will be sitting the Common Entrance exam.
We'll be doing a lot of reinforcement and not much new teaching in the sense that most of the syllabus would have been covered. The class 4 teachers, they would have gotten together and made plans. We would have grouped the children according to various abilities so that, you know, we would cater to their the strengths that they have and the weaknesses, try to work on those so as to develop them well so that they prepare them as well as can be for the next step, which will be the Barbados Secondary School Entrance Examination.
While the Combermere School is hosting the L.T. Gay Primary School students, its own students are also going in on specific days to complete their CXC school-based assessments.
I am in Upper 6, Science 1, and I'm here at the Combermere School and doing my Cape Physics SBA. It isn't like fun, but it's good to actually come back and interact with some of my classmates and do some work.
My name is Jodie Smith-Padmore. I'm in lower 6 A2, and I came here to do the Cape Art SBA. Well, after being home and not having necessary resources to do my art SBAs, I thought it was a great opportunity to get to come back to school and have the interaction with the teachers face-to-face and also with my other classmates. So yeah, it was a great experience.
We got the opportunity to chat with Acting Chief Education Officer Joy Adamson on how she thought the reintegration to school went on its first day.
But generally everybody seems ready. Students seem, some a little hesitant, some glad, but that is expected. And as somebody said earlier, they will adapt very quickly.